You know, RV, I love being behind the scenes. There's nothing like being in the green room. I don't care what anyone says. If you ever get a chance to be in the green room, go to the green room because it's where the magic happens. Look, RV, I've known you for many years, but before I read this wonderful bio, talk about how excellent you are, take a moment, if you will, and tell the audience the backstory. Like, give me the narrative. Like, who really is RV? And, like, what are you up to these days?
Well, what I am is I'm a public speaking trainer and coach, and I wasn't always actually I came out of corporate America, and I sucked when I used to speak because I thought because I could flap my jaw that I could speak, and I learned very quickly that that wasn't true. So I decided to respect public speaking and go and get trained, and I had a successful career in corporate America using speaking to go up in my career. And then 16 years ago, I left corporate and started my own business teaching other people how to use public speaking to get clients.
You know, that's truly amazing. And on this particular episode, what should we expect from the one and only, the fabulous one, the person that really throws down, Arvee Robinson? What should we expect on this particular episode?
Well, you can expect to learn how to use speaking as a marketing tool so that you can get clients every time you speak. Because speaking isn't always about just being a paid speaker or stepping on stage and selling, $100,000 from the stage. A lot of people think, oh, I can't ever do that. It's not about that. It's about stepping on stage, stepping into the spotlight, and sharing your message with the world and making those kind of changes to the people that need to hear your message. I mean, anybody and everybody can learn how to get their message out to the world. So that's what I'm here to do.
That's what I admire about you. Get your message out to the world. As I'm thinking, I'm curious for Arvee Robinson, who's coming to us today from California. Is that correct?
That's right. Southern Cal.
Down in Southern California. Sometimes people ask, like, what's your big why? And I like that. But I'm curious right now, what's your purpose in life? Like, what mission is Arvee on for where she is right now in her life?
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for asking, because my mission is to train people that are going to speak. My mission is just to get people ready for when it's time for them to speak, because I believe that everybody has a message to share that only you can share to people that can only hear it from you. And that message will save someone's life, their business, or maybe even their soul. So my job is to get you trained and ready for that big moment when you are going to say something brilliant and change someone's life. You can really make a difference with your words if you just know how.
So true. And you're very passionate about this. I mean, you always, since I've known you over the years, and I don't know, it's been 10, 15 years now. And before we get going, I know, don't worry, we're in the green room. We'll get started in a moment, but I'm curious, where does this passion come from that you have? Like where's this desire that you have to really help people be able to get their voice out to the people they were called to serve?
Well, actually, for me, Shay, it comes from God for me, because I'm on a mission to get him to, he's given me these gifts, and I'm on a mission to make sure that everybody is ready for really when he calls on them to speak. So it goes, because we're in the green room, I wouldn't tell that to anybody, Shay, but I know you, because people might freak out.
Yeah.
This way I just tell people, look, we're just using speaking to grow your business. You're just stepping on stage to grow your business, but there really is a higher reason and a higher purpose to get people trained. So I'll share that with you. Because I know you, and we've known each other 15 years, and I just want to say that, and you and I haven't really talked about this, but again, I just want to say thank you so much, because back in the day, it wasn't 2007. 2007, I met you, and I don't know if you remember, but we were at an event, a small little 5-person event.
I remember $5,000 plus event. I remember being there,
But it was worth every single penny.
And more.
Why and more? You sitting there with your computer up, and you're working on your computer, and then afterwards, and I thought to myself at that time, who is this guy? He's got his computer and all this. Again, 2007. This is like 12 years ago, right? And then afterwards, I was training for a marathon, my first marathon, the LA Marathon. I was in my early 50s, and you were training for the Chicago Marathon. And after the meeting, you and I would run, and I was a new runner, so I couldn't even keep up with you. But you were so kind and so patient with me, and you just, went slower and kept up with me. And I'll never forget that. And I felt so blessed because I got to train and I didn't have to go alone, and you were just right there with me. So again, if I haven't said it before, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, Arvee, it is an honor and a privilege, and thank you for all that you've done. I've admired what you've done over the years. I've admired how you've helped encourage folks to speak, and even myself. I'll tell that story a little later. I'm super excited. They're giving me the cue and saying, Shay, you got to get going, Shay. And it's okay because we're in the green room. Ann Brown is out there. Tyrone Powers is out there right now. Kat is watching. There's so many folks that are watching right now. We're going to get started, ladies and gentlemen, in 5. They're giving me the cue. 4, 3, 2, 1. We've got a show. We're going to get started. We'll be right back. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Yeah.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, you, the speaker, you, the author, you, the coach, you, the trainer, you, the network marketer, you, the person that has a vision for the people you were called to serve. And this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is for you, we're going to give you the resources necessary to execute that vision. And as we get started, I'm just going to just double check to make sure there's no feedback playing on my side. And Arvee, I'll make sure. I don't think you have a video playing on your side, do you? I don't think you do at all, do you? Do you have it up? You good, Dale?
Good.
Okay. If you hear in the background, just let me know because it might be hearing like a slight echo. I just want to make sure that I didn't start it up by accident twice. Okay. Fantastic. So with that being said, Arvee, welcome to the show. Look, what's the #1 challenge facing entrepreneurs today in regards to speaking?
Well, the #1 challenge regarding speaking is getting in front of the right audience. Most of them, they come to me and they go, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get in front of people. And there is no shortage of speaking engagements out there. You just need to step into it, and people won't do it. They won't pick up the phone. So you need to pick up the phone. You need to identify where you want to go to speak, who has your target market, make a list, then pick up the phone, and then ask if you can come to speak. Most of the time you're going to get a yes, but the answer is always no if you don't ask. So you need to ask. And then you need to tell everybody that you're a speaker. You need to step into that. Say, I'm a speaker looking for speaking engagements. Who do you know that has a group, that's president of a group or an organization, or, if you want to go in corporate America, but you've got to start asking and telling people that you're a speaker.
That is so important to do that. And when you say speaking, kind of define speaking. Some folks think they got to be on a big stage in order to make this happen. Will you talk about that for a moment?
Yes. No, I'm not talking about big stages. When I talk about speaking and getting clients, I'm talking about networking groups, business groups, maybe 25 people is a nice, good number so that you can reach everybody, gain visibility in your market, and they're easy to find. Now, there's some service clubs out there too. I don't recommend service clubs only because they don't always have a concentration of your target market. So you want to find what groups have your target market, and the more concentrated, the better. Meaning, if your target market is women, then you need to go to women's groups. If you go to chambers of commerce, they're going to be 50-50, and you're not going to get the best results. You're only going to get half of the results or diluted results. So it's up to you to decide who your target market is, make a list, and call those organizations, conferences, companies, schools, whatever it might be. Call them because they're just waiting to hear your words.
And what do you say to the person that says, I have a fear of speaking, not talking one-to-one, but really standing in front of a group or even getting on a video series like we are now?
Right. That's not uncommon, Shay. It's very, very common. And the fear comes really from not knowing what to do. And that's easy to solve because what I do is I teach people a system speaking. So it takes all the guesswork out of what do I say first and then what do I say next. So my system is like a speech sandwich. So the first 5 steps are how to build rapport with the audience. Then we have our content, and then the next 5 steps are the close. And I teach people 6 different closes because not all closes fit all audiences or the time that you have to speak. So speakers get into a problem when they try to cram the same speech into a different audience or a different time frame. You don't do that. Yes, you have a signature talk, which is a talk you do over and over and over, but you customize it for the audience. You use the language of the audience. So for instance, if I was talking to real estate people, which they're business owners, but they're slightly different than the regular business audience I would speak to, I need to speak language. I need to say clients, I need to say listings, I need to say doors, whatever their language is, I need to modify and customize my speech for them. And I also need to modify and customize the close and often the stories. If you're going to use a success story, use a success story of the, in my case, if I was talking to real estate professionals, I would need to use a real estate story and not maybe an accountant story. So that's how we take our signature talk and we customize it for that audience. So when you know how to do all those things, poof, the fear goes away. Just like that. The fear comes from not knowing what to do, when to do it, or where to do it.
You've coached tens of thousands of folks all over the world.
Yes.
Talk a moment about how the power of speaking can truly help you get clients. And for those folks that have not really, they speak, but they're not using it the way they can to grow their business. So Shay, what's the question? Take a moment and talk about how they could use the power of speaking to grow their business and how you've helped others do that as well.
Right. Okay. Just imagine for a moment then. The truth is in the numbers. And I have an accounting background. I've come from a systems background. So let's look at the numbers. If you spoke just once a week to a small group of 25 people, business people, like we talked about, now you're in front of 100 people in a month. Now, let's say for mathematical purposes, you did this 10 months out of the year. Now, look at how many you're in front of. So now you're in front of 1,000 new people. See, business comes from people, not that we know, but people that know us. Public speaking allows you to gain visibility in the marketplace in front of people that you may never have encountered in a regular networking group that you go to. So let's now go further. Let's take that math. So now we're in front of 1,000 people in a year. Now, let's back up and go to the original one speaking engagement of 25 people. If I taught you and you knew how to be a magnet and pull the hot leads out of the room. See, most people don't know how to pull the warm ones or cold ones. They just speak and go blah, 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 and nothing happens. But I teach people a script to use to pull out the people that are interested. Out of a group of 25, you will get on average 5 people that want you and want to know more. They'll come up to you at the end of your talk, you gather their business card, and you do your follow-up and your due diligence, whatever that is. So now let's take 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 10, 10 months, that's 200 hot leads. 200 hot leads that you get. Now, this is a mathematical formula, so that means you can increase the results by either speaking more than once a week or speaking to a group of 25 or larger, like 50, 60, 80 people. You're going to get a lot more results. Now, how many can you close out of those 5? Typically, people close around 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 10 months is 120 brand new clients. That's on the low end of the scale. That's once a week, 25 people. Who can't do that? Now, 120 new clients in a year. What is one client worth to you? Think about that. $5,000? $10,000? Now, times that, times 120. You never have to do any other marketing strategy again. This is the only strategy I use. And it works because it works.
It works because it works. Take a moment and share a little bit about how you got into this business, if you would, of speaking, and maybe some of the training you've had before you got to where you are now. They might be listening to you saying, wow, she's been able to do this very easily. And I'm working on my microphone. I say my microphone has a little pop to it, so I'm working on it on the background. But take a moment, tell them how you got into this line of work right now.
I'd
Those
be
folks
happy.
that are just meeting you for the very first time, Arvee. Everyone doesn't know who you are, by the way. I happen to know you're a good friend for 15 years, but everybody else, they might not know you.
They might not. Well, I got into it because I came out of corporate America. I was in corporate America right after college, and I went to work for a big CPA firm by the name of Deloitte. Deloitte Haskins and Sales, still around today, or the Deloitte part is. And my boss came to me. Now, my degree's in information systems, so I was hired as a systems consultant to set up financial accounting systems on small microcomputers. They just came out, and teach business owners, small to mid-sized business owners, how to automate their accounting. Now, up until then, it was computers that were the size of a room that most people couldn't afford. So this was revolutionary. So my boss came to me and said, Arvee, I want you to get out there and start speaking and tell people that we're offering this service. And I thought to myself in that moment, I thought, piece of cake. I took one speech class in college. I was good to go. I knew everything there was to know about public speaking, or so I thought. Well, I went out there because doors would open wide when you're working for a company as big as Deloitte. And so I received a lot of speaking opportunities, but I didn't sell one client. I didn't get a project, nothing. And I knew something wasn't right, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. And then one day, just like that, a woman comes up to me. She looks me straight in the eye and she says, honey, I hate to tell you this. Now, I'm thinking in my head, well, then don't. I want to run. But I said, well, what is it? And she said, honey, do you know that after every sentence, you say, okay? And I just looked at her, and the only thing I could think of saying back to her was okay. But I got it in that moment that I was the problem. That just because I could flap my jaw didn't make me a speaker. And that's what a lot of people think. Just because they can talk, that they're a professional speaker. Speaking is so, so different. There's no natural born speakers. They're trained speakers. So in that moment, I decided to respect public speaking and get trained. And so I went out, I went to every seminar I could find. I went to the library and checked out every book I could find because we didn't have internet back then. And I got trained, and the most amazing thing happened is as I got better, so my skills went up, and guess what? My clients went up. And the better I got, the better my clients were. And then so I built my practice that got the buzz of the whole, department. They wanted to know what I was doing, so I started teaching them. And that's kind of how my role in public speaking began, is by teaching my own colleagues what I was doing so they could, enjoy the same success as I was. And then when about 23 years later, I realized that I no longer was making a difference in my field where I was a trailblazer, that instead I had staff and I was pushing papers and, all that stuff that managers do. I was a senior manager level, the highest I could be without being a CPA. And so I decided it was time to leave. And so, I didn't know how to leave. I didn't know what else to do. My degrees in information systems, it's all I knew. So I did what any smart girl would do. I prayed about it. And God said, public speaking. That's not how he said it, though. He said, teach others what I've taught you. And I knew what he meant. And so 16 years ago, I left corporate America, started my own business. And since that time, I've trained over 5,000 business owners, entrepreneurs, bishops, you name it. Brigadier generals, and given over 3,500 speeches all over the world in exotic places like Egypt and Turkey and Rome, and done over 750 events. I don't say that to impress anybody. I really don't. I say it because anybody can do this. Anybody can learn how to use public speaking and learn it to get promotions in their company, speak on cruise ships, travel the world, you name it. The world just opens up the better you are as a speaker. So that's just what I chose to do, and now I teach others how to do it too.
And I love what you're doing. And the question may come up is that, hey, Arvee, I don't have one of those cool stories like you, right? So where do you pull these stories from? And I'm going to encourage all of you, and I'm going to ask you to do something for you special. But talk about the importance of being able to pull stories that you can share, and maybe share one of the techniques that you're using when you pull a story. Because for some folks, like, oh my gosh, but what stories do I tell? She says just tell stories. Or how do I do that? Do you mind sharing a little bit of those secrets? And I'm doing a little more time on this because I know for many of you, Arvee's the missing piece. Like, this is what you've thought about doing, is what you've been talking about doing. You're doing webinars, you're doing Facebook Lives, you're speaking to groups, and somewhere it's just not connecting. So my question to her is, how does she pull her stories out? And maybe she'll share a secret formula with you. And she's taking a whole lot of time. We haven't gone to commercial because I know what this will do for you.
Oh, thank you. Well, there's 4 stories that you should add to almost every speech. That's a regular time that you might have 20, 30 minutes. Of course, if you have 5 minutes, you don't. But the one story you add to all of the speeches is your professional story. Or some people call it a company story. I call it professional because it's the story that earns you the right to be talking about whatever you're talking about. So if you're a financial planner, we want to hear how you got into the business, how long you've been in the business, and what makes you different from all the other financial planners. So it's not your personal story where it goes back to your childhood and your parents were, alcoholics or something. We don't care about that. We care about that, but we don't care to hear it right now. We care about what earns you the right to be the professional, to be the expert, to be doing what you're doing. In my case, in my professional story, I just said, I took public speaking for granted, like many people do. I thought I could do it because I took one class in it. And then I learned very quickly I failed. I was bad at it. I sucked until I got trained, right? So it's kind of like the mess to success story, the rags to riches, the pain to power, whatever it might be. But we want to see that, people love that $1 million story. You've made $1 million, you lost $1 million, and now you've gained it back. Why? Because it gives us hope as an audience. Your audience needs hope in whatever you do. They need hope that they can do what you're doing now. And that's what your professional story does. The next story you need are success stories. That's the story about a client that's suffering, and then you taught him, and then now he's, making a ton of money. So one of my success stories that I often tell is about Hector. Hector had this dream that he wanted to be a sales trainer in speaking in Spanish to the Hispanic community and raise their quality of life. And he thought he could go out and speak without training, and he failed miserably. And then he came to me, took my training, and the next time he stepped out on stage, he went blah, 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 poof, $4,500. But what's better than the $4,500 is he saved lives that day. He impacted lives. He helped his people earn more money and raise their standard of living. And that's making a huge difference. The next story you need is emotional stories. Emotional stories that will open the heart, because when you open the heart, it opens the pocketbook. And I don't mean crybaby stories. I don't mean you come out and cry on the stage. You have got to heal. If something's going on in your past, you've got to heal off stage before you come on stage. Because when you do, then you get your audience to cry. And that's what will open their hearts and open their pocketbooks. But we don't have to do those kind of sad stories. We can do funny stories. We can do stories that open hearts and, being funny. Let me give you an example. That's the best way. And we all have stories. So look at your past, look at your life. You have a story. So I'll be brief, but here's one of the stories I use. And once you use a story, use that same story over and over again. You don't have to get a whole bunch of them, right? This one might be a few years old. So what? No one knows. But my husband is a bum magnet, a bum magnet. Every time we go to the grocery store, he can be across the parking lot and somebody will see him, and I see them coming, and they go bypass me and they go right to him. He's got this wonderful, honest face. I'm not kidding you. And so one day we're going into the grocery store, and this bum looks at my husband and he says, "What is the greatest nation in the world?" And my husband just looks at him and says, "I don't know, United States, I guess." And the bum says, "No, it's donation." And so my husband gives him $20. I can't believe it.
What they don't understand right now, and mic check, can you hear me? What they don't understand right now, RV, is how you're using the power of humor. I mean, Arvee's very, very, like I said, someone I've known for 15 years. I've watched her for 15 years. And for Gina Bell, who's out there watching, and Dwight Pledger out there who's watching, and Samantha's out there, and Lamora made it, by the way. She's watching, and so many of you out there. Yeah, she's using humor, and I wanted her to spend this time with you. I'm going to let her continue on with the stories, but just understand that there is a science and a methodology behind what you're hearing. It's not about her just being able to have a talk or a conversation. It's about her being able to convey a message that lands that's memorable. And that's one of the things she's really, really good at. All right, continue on. But I love the humor. When I saw the laugh coming, I said, oh my gosh, it's like she's telling it for the very first time. Continue on. But many of you out there, I'll say this one more time, and I mean this in the bottom of my heart. Arvee's the missing piece to the combination that you need to crack the code to really explode your business. And this is your year. This is your moment, and this is your time. Arvee, continue on with the story. I love that, by the way. Gave $20. Gee whiz. That's a lot of cash.
Yeah, and if you don't think you have a funny story, you can always use some sort of little joke that you read. Just don't make it that it's you. So I use one, oftentimes I'll use one that, a school teacher, an art class, was watching a little 5-year-old girl feverishly drawing. And she asked her, she says, "Mary, what are you drawing?" And Mary looks up at her and says, "I'm drawing a picture of God." And the teacher said, "But Mary, nobody knows what God looks like." And little Mary, without even looking up, she said, "Well, they will in a minute." So you can find stories, humorous stories that fit your business and what you're talking about, and that fit you and resonate with you and resonate with your audience. Many places.
And just so I can jump in for a second, you help folks, and we'll get to that later in the next segment. I got to get to another segment, but we'll get to how she helps people not only find their stories, but identify their stories and write their stories. And for folks out there, you got Eric Swanson, who's in right now. He's watching, by the way, just amazing rock star. He was here yesterday. If you haven't met Eric, you've got to connect with him. Eric, I owe you a call today, man. You kept me busy all day long. For Ursula Grant, who's out there, by the way, thanks for joining. Stephanie Perkins Biddens, thanks so much for joining. You're in for a treat. Okay, Arvee, keep on going. I'm not going to interrupt you again, by the way. Just
No,
because you gave 3 stories so far. I think you said you're going to give us 4. Just do a quick recap on what you've already shared, just the 3 type of stories, and then give us that last story. And everyone out there, take some notes. And then I'm going to ask Arvee how you connect with her, by the way, seriously.
The last story is the story with a lesson. And that's a story that you share, but you don't necessarily share the lesson. So I'm going to do a real brief one. And that is when I went to Egypt, a small group of us decided that we were going to go up and see the sunrise on top of Mount Sinai. Now, the way to get up there is on a camel. Never been on a camel before. It was pitch black. And it was camel after camel, 2,000 people going up to see the sunrise on top of Mount Sinai. My camel, this is about 45 minutes in, my camel is swaying in the road like this. The Bedouin, which is the native people that own the camels, kept yelling at my camel saying, Marty, Marty, Marty. The more he yelled, the more scared I got. And just imagine, it's pitch black. You can't hear a thing. There's no crickets, nothing. You can't see anything. You can't hear anything except for me screaming at the top of my lungs, oh my God. Right? And then so the Bedouin says, Madam, don't worry. Don't worry, the camel knows the way. And in that second, I thought, that's right. It's not the camel's first time. It's my first time. So I let the camel lead me up to the mountain. We waited for the sun to rise. It peaks over the horizon. The Bedouins began to sing in a cappella. I'm standing on this big boulder like Rocky, right, with this music playing, watching the sunrise, and this music. And in that moment, in that second, I felt closer to God than I've ever felt, physically, mentally, spiritually, everything. Now, if I let fear stop me, because I could have got off that camel and ran back down the hill. If I let fear stop me, I wouldn't have that feeling, nor would I have this great story to tell.
The story amongst the story amongst the story. For those folks that are out there watching right now, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look below the video, and I want you to hit the share button. We're going to take a break in a moment for less than 2 minutes, but I want you to hit the share button. And when you hit the share button, put speak up, get clients, and then put hashtag Arvee Robinson. Just put speak up, get clients. You have my permission. I'm sure Arvee Robinson, you have her permission. You can share this with your tribe. You can share this message on your page. You can hit the watch party button right now. You can do that right now. And do that. Pay this message forward, because when we come back, Arvee's already given so much. She's like in overtime right now. She's such a giver. I have a heart to give. She has a heart to serve. But I'm going to ask her. I'm going to say, you know what, Arvee? If you had to, for all the entrepreneurs that are watching right now, if there was 3 things, it might be a recap, if there was 3 things that they could do now to put them in a position in order to get clients from their speaking, what would those 3 things do? Like, what would she tell the person, whether they are very green and very new, or they're seasoned professional? And you were sitting across the table from her right now, and she said, here are 3 things that you can do. She mentioned so many already, and she might boil it down, but 3 things that you can do right now as an entrepreneur in order to speak and really take it to another level. What would that be? We're going to do that when we come back in just a moment. We're going to be going over right now to the one and only Sharon Harper. And Sharon Harper talks about the law of capacity. And when we come back in less than 2 minutes, Arvee's going to talk about 3 things. And I want you to think right now, as you're sitting there, and there were 3 ways that you could improve your speaking to get clients. Okay, what are 3 things you could do? She's given so many already. But I'm going to ask her to give us her 3 best ideas. We'll be back in just a moment. Sharon Harper, take it away. This is so great. Arvee, you're amazing. I love it.
Hi, my name is Sharon Harper, motivational speaker, author, investor. I love investing in people because people have the potential of generating years of dividends. This is my January 1st. And as I'm moving in January 1st, I have to be mindful of the laws, the law of capacity. Now, if you know me, I break all the rules, but I never break laws. If you break laws, laws will break you. Laws are unchangeable. So the law of capacity is that you will grow in proportion to your environment. It reminds me of a story of a guy named Walt Disney. We all know Walt Disney, but Walt Disney started out after a couple failed ventures. He started out with Disneyland, south of Anaheim, California. And he had great success, but he had one challenge. He was landlocked. And so he couldn't expand. And so he secretly, anonymously, began to buy up land in the Orlando area. And he formed shell companies, and he brought 500 acres here, 100 acres here with this company, and maybe 2,000 acres with this company. And he went on, and a investigative journalist caught on to it, but not until he amassed over 26 to 30,000 acres. And now that man, who is now deceased, still has land that's not been developed. His dream was huge, but his capacity was small. One of the problems or challenges that we face as entrepreneurs, as business owners, business leaders, is that we run out of capacity. When there's stress in the business, when there's stress as an entrepreneur, it's usually one or two problems. A, you don't have the systems, or B, you have a lack of capacity. That is a spiritual law. And I often compare spiritual laws, or look for evidence of spiritual laws in nature. You take a shark, put it in the fish tank, it gets this big. Take that same baby shark, put it in the ocean, it gets this big. Before you dream, or right after you dream, the first thing you do is you begin to build your capacity. Before you build up, you gotta build down. Thank you. Play to win. Bye-bye.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And that mission is to empower. That mission is to inspire. And that mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with the resources necessary, that means revenue, to execute 3 visions I believe that you have. I believe first you have a vision for yourself, how you want to live, the foods you want to eat, the things you want to do. And it takes revenue to do that. And Arvee Robinson's talking about how to do that right now. For some of you, you have a vision for your loved ones. I have an opportunity to be a caregiver for Mother Dear. And I love being able to pick her up today. She says she wants to stop by the store. We stop by the store. She wants to order something from Amazon. We order from Amazon. And it takes revenue to do that. And that's a blessing. And some of you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And I'm a believer, no matter what your belief is right now. But imagine if you're in the Bible and you're Noah, and God's giving you this vision for people you were called to serve, and there's no hammer, there's no nail, no resources, there's no wood, there's no team. That might be where you are right now. And if that's you, you pay close attention. I want you to listen like you've never listened before, because Arvee Robinson, I've asked the question, what are 3 things that someone listening right now can do in order to help them be able to speak? We're not talking about getting paid. We're talking about just speak and get in front of clients. I want her to give you a gift to help you get paid as well. But what are 3 things? So Arvee Robinson, the question asked for the break, and I'll recap again, is what are 3 things that any entrepreneur can do right now that you would recommend that they can do in order to speak and get paid?
Okay, thank you. First, get trained. No matter where you are, if you've already taken some training, public speaking has changed over the years. It's like any other industry. It is not the same. The players are different. The time is different. The techniques are different. Why? Because your audience has changed. So you have to keep up. There's new trends, new activities, new ways to do it. So if you were trained once, a long time ago, you got to get retrained to know what's current. This is all I do, by the way. I don't have any real estate company on the side. I don't do network marketing on the side, nothing. I just speak, train people to speak, put on events for speaking. That's all I do 24/7. I live it, breathe it, and it's in me. I am the script. It's all of me. So I know where it's going, and I'm setting a lot of those trends myself and teaching my clients and my students how to keep up and how to do them and how to be the forerunner in speaking. So if you've already been trained or speaking, get retrained, learn what's new, learn what's happening, learn the new game, because there is a new game in town. And then if you're brand new, good for you. Let's get you trained, and because you don't have anything you have to get untrained for, and let's get you trained to do it right, the right way. And continuous training. You need continuous training. That's number one. Number two is learn how to be a master story seller. Not just a storyteller, but a story seller. Because stories act to open the hearts, as I said, which open the pocketbooks. So you need to be a master at it. My mentor once said stories act as invisible selling. Wouldn't that be great? Don't you want to be an invisible seller instead of, being salesy? No one wants to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy, right? So be a story selling master. And number three, be a close master. You need to learn how to close from the stage. And when I say close, I'm not just saying selling. I'm talking about how to close. So let me give you a little example. What I call the close is I call it an invitation to do business with you. An invitation to take the next step with you, whatever that might be. It might be a strategy session, it might be a discovery session, it might be a phone call, it might be a Zoom, whatever it is. So you don't always have to sell, but we'll give people an opportunity to take the next step, to find out more about you, your products and services. So invite them to do that. So here's a simple close when you only have 5 or 10 minutes. And it goes like this. It's simple invitation. If I've inspired you in any way, please come and see me. I'm going to be right here. And at the end of the meeting, come and see me. And then you be right wherever you said you're going to be, not across the room. Or you could use a Q&A close. I know you probably have a lot of questions because today we don't have time for Q&A. That's an old model. Just get rid of it. Throw it away. Do not even say Q&A or are there any questions. Old. Don't do it. But here's what you say to handle it. I know you have a lot of questions, and I want to answer them. So I'm going to be standing right here at the end of this meeting. Please feel free to come up and ask me anything you like. Guess what? That's the magic to get those 5 leads I talked about out, like a magnet, at needles in a haystack, pull them out, and they come to you, and you don't have to go searching for them. And when they come to you, you get their business card, and what I teach people is they fold the end of the business card, fold the edge, so you know that's a hot lead. Otherwise, you'll put it in your pocket, you'll put it in your purse, and you'll forget who the hot leads are. This one tip I gave you is worth millions.
Arvee Robinson, you've inspired so many folks. You've helped so many folks with these ideas. You shared a story earlier of Hector, and I know you have so many stories. Do you mind sharing another story of a client that you may have worked with? It might be like the person is watching right now. They're doing webinars, or they're doing Facebook Lives, they're doing a podcast, and they've got to get better at being able to communicate their message to someone else. And I'm sure you work with someone along your journey. Share a story, if you would, of a client you work with and how you help them take it from where they were to being paid as a speaker.
Right. Well, I have lots of them, but I want to share, but I want to share one that is so wild that you wouldn't even imagine this. And this is about Angela. And Angela has a testimony about how her 2 sons died and, all this, information. And she wasn't connected with her story. It was her whole speech was a story. She wasn't connected at all. So she worked with me and I got her reconnected. And then one day, she joined my year-long mastermind, public speaking mastermind. And then one day she's speaking on my stage, which people in my mastermind get to speak on my stage. And in the room, I had one of my dear friends who's a movie producer. He heard her testimony, which she was now connected to, and offered to produce her movie, which is out now for the last couple of years. I just saw her today. She came to one of my groups and spoke. So she's still with me. She's still around me. But by association, right? You can, who would have thought? Now I'm not promising you a movie. You know, all I'm saying is it can go beyond just simply getting clients. It can go beyond. When you step out on stage, you don't know whose lives you are touching and affecting. You have no idea. Let me do another short story. So I recently, a few months ago, I was speaking for a friend of mine who was doing a book expo. I was supposed to have 20 minutes. I spoke there 2 years prior, and all of a sudden I'm driving there, and she said, Arvee, you only get 10 minutes, right? You know, now, of course, I have to be honest. I'm thinking, I'm Arvee Robinson. What are you doing cutting my time, right? So I had a decision to make. I either don't go and say, look, it's Saturday, just forget it. It's not really that important. Your expo, I've been to it. I could have done that. And that's what a little bit was going in my head. But I thought, no, I'm dressed. I took a shower. I'm halfway there. I might as well go there. I was the last speaker. The last speaker. So I waited all day to speak, which is fine. It was a book expo, so there really wasn't any traffic, only the vendors that were there. So there was only a small group of maybe 40 people. And so, and this is something I want to teach you, because anytime your time gets cut, you be gracious about it. Yet you still look for a way to get more time. So I'm there and I'm watching, and all of a sudden, I mean, they're having like 30 minutes throughout the day, 30-minute breaks. Well, there's no audience to visit the vendors. After the first break, all the vendors visited the vendors. So I'm like watching this, right? And so it comes to the last break right before I speak. So then I went to the gal, she comes by, the booth, and I said, why don't we cut this break to 20 minutes and then give me that extra 10 minutes and I'll do a real powerful message for 20 minutes. And she said, okay, right? Now, after my speech, this is where it gets good. This is the impact I'm talking about, that your words will make on people that you have no idea. Most of the time, you will never find out, but just know it's happening. So this girl comes up to me at the end of my talk, and she's big smile on her face, and she said she bought my book. Here's my book, Speak Up, Get Clients, right? She bought my book, a brand new book. And she bought my book the year before, and she said she gave it to her father, and her dad was older, in his 90s, with a little bit of dementia starting, but it gave her dad hope that he had a message to share, that he wanted to share, to get out there, that will change lives. It gave him that hope in the last, part of his life. But she said, but he lost the book. Oh my God, of course. So I gave her a book to give him and signed it. And I gave her a book to have too. And I said, just do one thing for me. Videotape it. When you give him this book, videotape it. I want to see the videotape. And she did. So see, I impacted someone's life that I didn't even know. And, then I got to get a loving message back when he opened the gift. It's just like, you never know the impact. Just know that you will make that impact. You've got to step out there on stage. The world is waiting for your words, and someone in your audience is waiting for you to in their suffering. And if you don't share your message and in their suffering, they're going to go on suffering for all eternity, and that's going to be on you. So that's what I'm here to stop, to help you to get out there, to help you end the suffering of the people that you're supposed to end.
Arvee, as you're talking and I'm listening, the first question that comes to mind is folks out there that want to stay in a conversation. We come back. I know you're going to do something special for the folks. And I'd like for you to take a moment and talk about how someone can make an offer from the stage. And she's going to also make an offer for a free gift for you. And we're going to do that. We're going to do real time. She didn't know she was going to do this because I didn't know we were going to do this. But I think it's good for you to see how Arvee has a heart to give, and she has something that she wants to give to you. But the reason I want you to hear this is that for some of you, you may be speaking on stage and you can't sell, but you still have an opportunity to really impact someone's life. You have an opportunity to have more meaning for someone else and not worry about the money. And I think that's very important. The reason I say that is just yesterday, I'll say Eric Swanson was on here, and Eric Swanson's doing a conference called Habitude Warrior. I don't know if you heard of him. Have you met Eric Swanson before, Arvee? I've got to introduce you guys.
Oh, not in person. I've only met him through Facebook.
Oh, okay, no, I'm going to connect you two together. He's got to have you on his stage. He's doing a conference called Habitude Warrior. You can go to Habitude, Habit, warrior.com. He's having a conference, and he has speakers on there, and I want to connect him with Arvee. And he's actually watching right now. So, Eric, I'm going to connect you two on Messenger, and I'm going to make sure you have his cell phone and she has your cell phone, and you guys got to at least connect and have a conversation. Eric Swanson is a giver, and so I want all you to check the conference out. It's amazing. The reason I want you to do that because it's possible that Arvee could be on that stage. I could be on that stage. Anyone could be on that stage. And there's no selling allowed on the stage, but you can help. You can serve. So I'm going to ask Arvee Robinson kind of role play if she was in a position and she couldn't sell, but she could serve and give something away. How would she do it? And she's going to do that right now. So you pay close attention, and then she's going to share a gift with you like real time, just like if she was on a stage. I think that's pretty cool.
Right? Okay. So I'm going to do a couple.
I'm putting her on the spot, and she's okay with that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So first, one of the easiest ways is as long as you have permission, and it's not a new way, so I'm not saying this is a new innovative way. I'm going to tell you an innovative way in just a moment. But give something away. So if you have a book, and if you don't have a book, a Starbucks card of some kind will work just as well. Give something away, start gathering the cards, and put them in your database. You've got to build your database because the next step after you do your 200 speeches and gather all the cards is to put on your own live events. If you want to change some lives and make an impact in somebody's lives, you've got to get them in your own room. Just like right now we're in Shay's room. That's where you'll make the bigger difference, the bigger impact. So keep your eye on the future, So you want to gather the cards, give something away. Now, here's the trick, though. Here's what's going to make this different is you also want to book strategy sessions so you can close them for coaching or consulting or whatever else, workouts, dances, whatever else you might have. So you want to offer a strategy session. Now, if you just give them a form to fill out and do a strategy session, you're only going to get maybe 10% of the room. If you do what I call a combo, where you have the card, you ask for the card, right? Yeah. So you say, okay, everybody, and I'll do it step by step. How many of you like free stuff by show of hands? People raise their hand. Great. Then you tell them exactly what you have. And if you want to sell this more, you open it up and you read a little bit of it. You read something from your book or whatever it is. Starbucks card, you just tell them what the value is. Now, people are excited, they want it. Now you tell everybody, take out a business card, and you hold it. Wait for them to take out a business card. And then you say, okay, now only one person, this is a script, only one person can win this book, but you're all winners. So I want you to put an S in the corner of the card if you would like a 30-minute free strategy session with me where we'll talk about how you can use public speaking to grow your business. The value of that is $250. Sound good? Yes. Then go ahead and write the S in the corner of the card. Now you have both in one move. In one close. Then, of course, you have to go and orchestrate getting the cards from everyone. So I just tell people, pass it to the person at your table with the longest hair. I pick a couple volunteers and say, go get the cards. You got to do this quickly. Now, you can only do this if you have 20 or 30 minutes. If you do not, or longer. But or 50 people or less. If there's too many people, it doesn't work. It's too confusing, takes too long. If you don't have enough time, it's not going to work even with a small group. So this is a close. Remember, I said I teach 6 different closes because not all closes fit all audiences or time limits. So you've got to know which is the right close for the right audience and the right amount of time. So this is one of them, and that is when you have 20 to 30 minutes and it's a smaller group, under 50. Then you can do this technique. You collect the cards, put them in your database, follow up on the ones that have an S, and bam, you've got your more than 5 leads and from that one group.
Man, Arvee's super amazing. She's super incredible. You're with the one and only Arvee, who teach people how to speak up and get clients. Arvee, I know you had a gift, and I won't
Yes.
call it a gift. I'm going to call it a super duper value package that is unbelievable that you're giving it away for free, but you are. And for those folks that are watching right now, whether you're watching live, and some of you are watching on Facebook, some of you are watching on our syndicated platforms, some of you are watching on podcasts or listening to the podcast, some of you are on Apple TV or Amazon Fire TV, or some of you are on Roku. It doesn't matter, wherever you are, you can benefit from this right now. And if you're listening to the long lost video, remember that script, Arvee? If you got your hands on it from our other mentor that we was in Las Vegas, if you got your hands on this long lost video file, it's on the honor system. and you too can benefit. So Arvee, tell them how they can stay in the conversation with you and get a bonus gift.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. All right, so this bonus gift, remember I talked so much about the closes. This is a script.
Hold on, Arvee, before you do that, sorry to interrupt. Before she does that, she's giving something away. So I want you all to look below the video, because it's not just for you. I'm going to ask if she'll share this gift with your community. Share this in a private group. Share this gift on social media. So you can look right below the video, hit the watch party button, or you can hit the share button. And when you hit the share button, you can write these words: speak up, get clients, free gift. Hashtag Arvee Robinson. Because Arvee Robinson is giving away a gift right now. She's going to give it away right now. And you can do that. If you listen to the podcast, you can grab the link and you can share it. And this goes for anyone watching or anyone you share this message with. So hit the share button right now. And why do I want you to do that? Because we believe in the giver's economy. The giver's economy says the person outgives the competition out-earns the competition.
Ooh, I like that.
So you're going to give. That's why, Arvee, I've grown. Me and Arvee go back. But the person outgives the competition out-earns the competition. So I want you to go ahead and hit the share button right now. Hit the watch party button right now. And as she does that, Arvee's now going to give something away. And here's what's really cool, Edith. Here's what's really cool, Maddie. Here's what's really cool, Karen Cherry. She's out there. She's saying fantastic tips. I've got to connect you and Karen Cherry together, by the way. She has the largest women's business conference in Mississippi. Fantastic. I can say about everyone watching is amazing. Y'all all are incredible. I don't want to single one person out, but I'm making a note, Karen. Remind me to connect you and Arvee together. I'll do it on Messenger, because Arvee is just a rock star and she's just an incredible person. And she's giving something away right now. So all y'all hit the hard button, hit the share button. Arvee, go ahead and take it away. Give away whatever you want to give away.
Okay, so I want to give a magnetic script for closing, because closing is so important, step by step, how to pull that lead out of that audience. So those 5 leads out of the audience. So all you have to do, so I share my link, right, Shay?
Yes. Give me the link, and then we're going to make sure the link works. So Arvee's going to give us a link. I'm going to type it in, because sometimes people give us these links, nothing personal, Arvee, and they don't work because of technology, whatever the story is. So we're going to check her, because I know we're going to make sure. And Gina Bell says, great job. She's getting some great pearls. Edith Joyce, who's out in Las Vegas, by the way, says, thanks, Arvee, for sharing your experience and strength and hope. She's out there right now. Maddie's out there watching right now. Jacqueline Fulton's out there watching. And Linda Reese, Bob's out there. So many folks are watching and tuning in right now. Okay, so how do we go get the gift? What's the website?
Okay, so the gift is called How to Turn Interested into Income. And it's a magnetic script to pull out the interested and turn them into income. And you just go to my name, which is Arvee, which is ARVEE Robinson. Right? Sounds like R and a V, but it's ARVEE Robinson /free. ArveeRobinson.com/free closing script. Free closing script.
And I'm typing that in. I've typed it in. I went to ArveeRobinson.com /free closing script. That's where you go. And there's something here that says how to turn interest into income after every speech. That looks like a picture of you. That's you with your famous red on. She's always had the red band. Red's been her thing. And when I click this button, I guess you want to click the button. I love this page, by the way, because there's nothing to do but click the button. I love that. I just love that. And so I'm clicking, yes, I want to close more sales. So let's all click the button. Let's see if it works. Dun-dun-dun-dun. I'm clicking the button. Do, 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 do. Okay, now I have magnetic script generate more leads. Send us your download. Okay, tell us where. So I'm going to put my name in. Arvee, I'm going to do this. Now tell them what they should expect once they get this thing from you. Is it a PDF? Is it a video? What is it? Shay?
It's a PDF because it's a script that you can follow word for word that will work. It's proven. I've done it a million times. I've taught it to several, I don't want to say a million, but thousands of students. Okay. And just follow the script. Don't even
popping up.
Just follow it, and you will get the 5 people out of the room.
So I hit the button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. All right. Thanks for your interest. Okay. After you read this email, being a special, So you should get that, and then you can even get more tips if you want. Look, Arvee has this thing wired. Like, she's ready. Arvee, if you can, in just about 60 seconds, what's the number one reason you decided to give this gift away? You can give away a whole lot of gifts, but why did you pick this one out of all the gifts you have to share with the audience?
Because the close is what gets you the clients, what gets you the money, what helps you to make that impact, what helps you to, really leave your mark on people and make a difference. The close is so important. Without that, it's like, the rest of the speech really doesn't matter.
I love how you line that up. When we come back, by the way, Gina Bell says she shared it. Stephanie Perkins Bidding says she shared it. You'll see those comments later when you go back in. I know you're focused on us. When we come back, don't worry. The best is still yet to come. The best is still yet to come. I promise you, she's in overtime. Don't worry. I'm going to ask to give her another 5 minutes. She's having fun. We're going to be back in just a second. We're going to go over to Rob Howes. I got carried away, but she was giving such good information. He says, be present where you are. How true is that? We'll be back in less than 2 minutes with Arvee Robinson.
Hey guys,
all right.
Me and Daddy are here.
All right, I'm doing a video.
I got a question.
No, it's not a question. This is a video where I'm telling people something. I'm telling them that today is their January 1st. Today is your January 1st Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe, because today is the only day you got. Because tomorrow's not promised and yesterday is gone. So the reason why today being your January 1st is significant because it keeps you from procrastination. Procrastination is the destroyer of dreams. Yeah, it's the destroyer. It's the killer of dreams. So, take action. Be present where you're present. That's the real gift. Be present where you are present. That is the real gift. Today is your January 1st. Say today.
Today.
Say today is your January 1st.
Today is January 1st.
Say it loud.
Today is January 1st.
That's it. Don't forget it.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country. We're on a mission, and that mission is to empower. That mission is to inspire, and that mission really is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with the resources necessary to execute the vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And that's what Arvee Robinson is here to do today, is really to give you the resources, which is really the revenue. So you can go purchase the resources. Arvee Robinson, we have a core value here called Today is my January 1st. And today is my January 1st represents that moment when you have to make a decision that can really change the trajectory of your life, right? And there's many moments throughout the day, but any moment you make a decision is a January 1st moment. You either go to the gym or you sit on the couch and do nothing. You either eat hamburgers and french fries, or you go to your refrigerator and pull out celery or cabbage or broccoli. If that sounds good, then I know we're in the right place, right? Any of those, and maybe that's you. When you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what resonates with you? What do you hear? What's your view of the world?
Well, what I hear is not so much for me, but for the audience. It's like today can be your January 1st in order to step out and start speaking. It doesn't matter, that you procrastinated in the past or wanted to and didn't. What matters is for you to do it today, because imagine what your life will be like in 5 years from now if you took that step. And I have people that I've talked to and worked with or didn't work with years ago that I see they're in the same place now that they were 10 years ago, and they regret that they didn't work with me because they've seen how I've progressed. They've seen what I'm doing now. I mean, I'm getting ready in July, Jay, to take a small group of my mastermind people to Bali so that they can be an international speaker. We're putting on an event in Bali. I mean, that's huge.
Huge. I mean, that's super huge. And as you said that, being so huge, I'm curious, what was Arvee's January 1st moment? The moment where you decided that you were going to plant your flag, you were going to draw a line in the sand, and you were going to be an entrepreneur and teach people how to speak. Tell us about that.
Okay, you mean 16 years ago when I decided that.
Just 16 years ago, absolutely. Just the other day.
16 years ago. Well, it just flew by like that. But yeah, it was that moment when I knew it was time to make a change and I didn't know what kind of change to make. So I prayed about it and God said, teach others what I've taught you. And that was the defining moment. And ever since then, it's been focus. See, if you focus on your dreams and what you want, you will get there a lot faster. Now, I talked about running a marathon in 2007, and Shay and I both ran marathons that year in different cities. But my first marathon, I mean, I was so excited. There were people lined up. I don't know if that happened to you, Shay. People lined up on both sides. And so I'm running, and I would run over here and slap that person's hand, and I'd run over here and slap that person's hand. By the time I was done, I didn't run 26 point whatever miles, right? I ran like 40 miles because I got off track and I went in other people's direction. I let the shiny object derail me, and to where it took me longer, more hours. I was more tired. It took more strength and more energy to finish that marathon than it had to. Now, I learned my lesson in the second marathon I ran. I didn't do that. I stayed straight and narrow with my eyes focused. I didn't waste any time. I didn't waste any footwork. I didn't go shiny objects. So I tell people in life, it's not just speaking, but let's use speaking right now because that's our topic. If you would just focus on the 8 ball, focus on that 8 ball. Think of speaking as a vehicle that you're driving, yet you get to choose the car. It could be a Maserati or it could be a Buick. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. You can pick the highway. It can be a freeway. It can be the Autobahn. Or you can be on a dirt road. But what fuels the car is the speeches. You've got to do the speeches. Get in that car, turn on that gas, turn on the power. Don't pick up any hitchhikers because they're going to delay you. They're going to go, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm hungry. No, that means don't take other programs, right? Don't follow the shiny object. Just stay focused. You can make millions with speaking. You can never have to worry about doing anything else again. When I'm talking about speaking, I'm talking about what we're doing here, webinars, Facebook Live, your own podcast, TV shows, radio shows. Yes, stepping on stages. I like to be in front of people because I just love people. But there's many, many ways that you can do it that's going to make you money. Why? Because you have to have visibility to sell. If you're the best kept secret, then forget about it. No one even knows you exist to even buy from you. So get out there, take massive action, and be everywhere that everybody can see you. Imagine that. Just everywhere they turn, there you are, there you are, there you are. Like Shay is, like Eric is, who you mentioned. He's everywhere.
Yeah. So true, man. I love your message. I love what you're saying. When we come back in just a moment, we're going to go rapid fire. I'm going to ask Arvee any questions top of mind to me. She didn't force me to give her any questions. She said, Shay, we can just have a conversation. Shay, we can talk about the real deal of what's going on. Shay, we can talk like we're everyday entrepreneurs and everyone else can just eavesdrop in on a conversation. That's kind of what's happening right now. And that's so powerful. This is one of those episodes you want to listen to a second, a third, or a fourth time. That's just how powerful it is to these ideas that really burned into your subconscious mind. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to go up to New York, New York. So nice, they named it twice. And we have none other than Delano A. Johnson. You know what he says? I refuse to live talented and broke. If that's you, look right below the video and say, I refuse to live talented and broke. We'll be back in just a moment with rapid fire segment, and then Arvee's going to give her closing thoughts. I love that. It's one of our favorite segments, and she's agreed to do that. I can't wait. We'll be back in just a moment. Take it away, Delano.
I live in a city where there are more creative people per square mile than any other place on the planet. Question is, how many of them are successful? How many are just like I was, talented and broke? Being broke is more than just not having money. It's failure to turn opportunities into profitable businesses and relationships that last. My mother always said, people perish for lack of knowledge. A compass takes you in the direction of your destiny, but knowledge of obstacles and distractions will ensure you arrive safely. My mentor once said to me, if I had half your talent, I'd have 4 times my wealth. Since then, I made a promise to God. If he would help me unlock my earning potential, I would pay it forward and help others do the same. That's why I wrote this book, because God made us too talented to live our lives broke. That includes you.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country. We're on a mission to empower, to inspire, and to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all the resources, those resources that are necessary to execute that huge vision that you have for the people you were called to serve. And we're going into a rapid fire segment right now, and I love rapid fire. We get to ask a question that's on our heart and our mind, and then Arvee's agreed in about a minute or less, or a minute or two, to answer the question. But the first question comes to mind: of all the mentors you had so many along your journey of life. What's one lesson that you learned from any one of your mentors that you would like to share with us that we can walk away with and use?
Well, oh man, I have a lot of mentors, but I'll tell you one of our mentors that we have in common is Eric Laufman, and he's been the best mentor because he's been the one mentor that's made me a lot of money over the years, being a sales mentor. And I just was at an event with him this past weekend, and what resonated with me, and I might have learned it before, but CSI, continuous. He calls it continuous sales improvement. So I told him, I said, I'm going to borrow that and teach my students. And to my students, it's going to be continuous speaking improvement. Continuous speaking improvement. Not only developing your presentations, but getting out there and actually speaking. You cannot do speaking in the head. You cannot do speaking while you're driving. It's got to be a focused effort of you and your speech, not written down. If you write out your speech, you become a prisoner of your own words. And that is going to kill you on stage because you're going to forget something and you're going to be deer in the headlights. And we've all seen that at a time, one time or another. So you outline only. Then you practice it 1 hour for every 2 minutes of speech. So a 30-minute speech means you need to be practicing and working on it, improving it for 15 hours before you give it. That's what it takes to be a great speaker and be confident and own the script, become the script, so that, and here's what I teach people, when you're present and you can become the script, then if something pops, then you're more intuitive to your audience. So if something pops in your head like, ooh, somebody needs to hear this story, then you have that kind of flexibility that you can share that story, even though you didn't plan on it, and it not throw you off from the rest of your presentation. So you must become the script. Public speaking is a serious business, and you need to treat it with respect.
Mm-hmm. Sure. How does Arvee Robinson get out of her comfort zone?
Out of my what?
How do you handle being out of your comfort zone?
Well, that's a good one actually, because sometimes I am out of my comfort zone. I do it anyway. I don't shrink. Whatever you do it anyway. If you're feeling real now, if you feel in danger, of course, run. But if it's just you feeling uncomfortable or the adrenaline or anxiousness or something, push through it. Make sure that it's not a safety issue, but make sure that it's just a head thing, right? A lot of self-talk can stop us from doing things that we should and being uncomfortable. All right. So get out of your comfort zone and do it anyway. And there's different things make you uncomfortable. Of course, I don't feel uncomfortable anymore being on stage, or anything like that. But there's some things that I feel uncomfortable about. All right. So let me just give you a crazy, silly example. I'm going to Bali. I'm taking a group of people in Bali, right? So it's a 19-hour trip. I really didn't want, and I've been to Egypt, 19 hours. I really didn't want to sit there all cramped up trying to sleep and do all this weird stuff. So guess what? I bought a business class ticket that was cha-ching. And I've never done that before. It's very uncomfortable. And almost every day I think, should I do that? What have I done? Should I really be splurging this kind of money on me? Yes, no, yes, no, And I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it at least once in my life. I'm doing it. I'm going to Singapore Airlines, and you get a whole little pod with a bed and everything. So it's really very, very cool. It's almost first class, but not quite. But anyway, so there's different things that you might be doing that's a little out of your comfort zone. And I say, if it's safe, do it anyway.
Sure. Tell us about a book or a movie that has changed you.
A book or movie that has changed me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really had an impact on you.
Let me think for a second. I'm sorry, I wasn't ready for that answer. Because I love movies. I see a lot of movies. I have a lot of favorite movies. I think the one that really made the most impact, I know it's kind of old now, but Pay It Forward. Yeah. That whole Pay It Forward idea, very rich and very powerful, and it's like it's the new currency today. People are our new currency, social currency, all of that. So paying it forward, that really made a big impact. And as far as the books I've read, I read a lot of health books. I read a lot of self-improvement books. I can't quite think of one. One of the only ones I would say, a book that makes a big impression is a book that I've read over and over again. And actually I had a client of mine that wrote a health book, Ageless from Within or something like that. And I tell you, I've read that. I don't know why, but I've read it several times. It's easy reading. And, so I would say it's this particular health book.
Good. I love it. Last question. What's something about you that no one would guess?
Something about me that no one would guess. Ooh, that's a new one. I would have said that I ran a couple marathons in my 50s, but I already said that. How about that I love dogs? I mean, I have a love for dogs that is incredible. I've had dogs all my life. I had a pug that died 7 years ago, and I lived 3 weeks without having a dog. And I got 2 boxers now because I just can't be without a dog. So I love dogs. So for me, dogs are right up there with God. So it's like God, my husband, and dogs. And sometimes it's God, dogs, and my husband when he's in the doghouse.
You're crazy. You're funny. You're hilarious. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're just talking to the one and only Arvee Robinson, who's just a rock star, by the way. When we come back, she's going to have her final thoughts, her final comments, which I can't wait for, by the way, to kind of close us out when we come back. We're going to go over to Letitia Nicole. She'll be talking about taking control. And then when we come back in less than 2 minutes, Arvee Robinson is going to close out. She's in overtime, by the way. She's probably in triple overtime by now. I told her it'll only be about an hour and she's still here. So I'm so humble and appreciate her time. But we're coming down the home stretch. We'll be back, and she's going to close us out. Letitia Nicole, take it away. Appreciate you.
Hey, it is your girl Letitia Nicole, CEO founder of Speak Life Enterprises, where we teach powerful words to entrepreneurs like yourself to shape your reality. Well, before I get started with my thought of the week today, I want to send a huge shout out to Shay Brown, the CEO founder of this amazing group of happy entrepreneurs. Hey, Shay, thank you so much for allowing me to speak life to your group. So, the word and the thought of the week is taking control. Now, oftentimes we give a foothold to things that weigh us down, like guilt, shame, resentment, worry, and doubt and bitterness. Now, these things can come naturally. The problem is when we allow them in, they take up space that should be reserved for good things, like joy and peace and confidence and creativity. But the negative can't come in automatically and take over unless we allow it. So, I have a challenge for you. You have control over negative thoughts and emotion. So grab hold and take control. You have to make a choice and say, I am not going to give space to negativity and let it poison my life. I won't let an offense make me sour and bitter. I want you to take inventory of what you're giving place to, because life is way too short to go through it with negative things holding you back. So take control of what you allow inventory in your life. All right? My name is Letitia Nicole, and until next time, take control. See you later.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country, where we're on a mission to empower, to inspire, and to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all the resources necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And we want to thank the one and only, the fabulous one, Arvee Robinson, the person that helps entrepreneurs get paid or get clients by speaking. So you can get clients by speaking. And she's walked that through with us. She shared a free gift with us. I'm going to ask her, one, to close us out and to share her final thoughts. But I do want to say we're going to have Arvee Robinson back. I do want to say check at Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe. Arvee has agreed to share her word, her thought of the week that's going to help you. So I want you to stay connected with her. She's someone that has a wealth of knowledge, and I'd be here for 10 years if I just tried to drain her head of what she has out there, by the way. But here's what I do know. How many ideas do you need to change your life, right? Just one. Just one good idea implemented. It's certainly better than 1,000 right now. And she's giving you, I don't know how many ideas, maybe 20 plus, not 20 plus, probably, 1,000 plus ideas on this particular broadcast. So Arvee, once again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. You're fabulous. Can't wait to be in California. Can't wait to hang out with you. And I'm going to turn it over to you to share your final thoughts with the audience as we go do what we have to do best, which is have more meaning in the world, have more impact in the world, and make $1 and a difference at the same time. Over to you.
Amen. Well, first, thank you, Shay, for having me. It's so great to reconnect with you and to you after all this time. So thank you. So my final message is this for everyone to remember. This is important. I would write it down if I were you. But remember this, that you have a message to share that only you can share to people that can only hear it from you. In other words, I can't deliver your message. No one else can deliver your message. You have that message to share that only you can share to people that can only hear it from you. And that message is your gift. That message is your gift from God. And if you don't deliver your message, it will be undelivered for all eternity. And that message will save somebody's life, their soul, or their business. So if it doesn't get delivered in all eternity, then all those souls and all those people suffering and all those businesses will suffer. So it's time for you to step up, no matter whatever it takes. Get trained, and if it's not with me, that's okay. Get trained from someone else or me or whatever, but get trained, step out on stage with confidence, and change the world with your words.
Wow. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Arvee. You're amazing. I want all you to know that are watching that today is your January 1st. You're going to speak up. Today is your January 1st. You're going to change lives. Today is your January 1st. And for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is still yet to come. So with that being said, everyone look right below the video. Look right below the video and write, today is my January 1st. And hit the share button. Today is my January 1st. Hit the watch party button. Share it one more time. Arvee, thanks a lot. For those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, I want to know who is that guy speaking. My name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we're going to make some good things happen when we connect again next time. God bless, and I wish all of you so much success. Arvee, thanks a lot. You're a rock star. You're amazing. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.